Guys, Cornerstones came yesterday, the first promo of FC26, and I think we've learned a lot already about how FC26 is going to run for at least the next few weeks and months, but I think for the whole year in general. And I think it's taught us about how the market's going to move, how people's teams are going to upgrade, how the meta's going to go, all sorts like that. Starting with this Martin Zubamendi SBC. Now, this actually has so many downvotes on Footbin and the different sites, but he's coming in at 100k. And I think what people were expecting is the first promo, we normally get a nice player SBC on the Friday. And I think this SBC was EA's way of saying this is how like the players in the meta is going to run for the promos early on in the game, at least. If we take a look at the Zubamendi card, right? 75 pace, 70 shooting, 83 passing, 83 dribbling, 86 defending, and 76 physical. I think it's actually a pretty decent card. The reason people are not happy is because the price of the card, they think 100,000 coins, is overpriced. He's got decent play styles. He doesn't have loads. Low driven's not great for the position he plays. Inventive's nice. Aerial Fortress and Intercept are really, really nice. They're two of the best play styles. But like I say, I think people are just upset with the 100k price point. But with how the slower power curve and how EA are looking to run things so far, I think you got to get used to SBCs like this. I think this SBC Zubamendi, looking back, might actually look better than people first thought when we get more SBCs in the promos early doors. And might be one that's worth completing. You've got to remember as well this year that Gauntlet is going to be a game mode very soon. I think it's coming out in a day or two, or it might be next week. And Gauntlet, remember, you're going to need, I think it's 3 teams at the start of the year. So having players like this in your club, even if they don't get into your starting 11, I don't think it's that bad of a shout. But yeah, my thoughts on the Zubamendi SBC is that it's actually not too bad of a player for the price point. When we're going to jump into the rest of these things here, they brought out yesterday, you're going to see why I think that, right? If we go over to the objectives they brought out, and by the way, one of these is glitched. I think it's this one here. I don't know if this will be patched by the time the video comes out. This is completely broken, which is just awful, right? I bought a team for this SBC where I think I bought some Premier League and La Liga players. The La Liga players clearly work because it's ticking off the objective. But this objective here, where you need 3 Prem and 2 La Liga, and this top one where you need 5 Premier League players, just doesn't register. So if you're having that issue with you like trying to complete this objective in the live event, that's not you. That's just everyone across the game. Might be fixed, and hopefully it is fixed by the time it comes out, because that is awful. But looking at the actual player you get from the SBC, this objective player is actually, I think, quite upvoted on Footbin, and it is a really nice card. He's got Jockey, Quick Step, Relentless, and Whip, 85 pace, 80 dribbling, 80 defending, and 77 physical, with some really nice in-game stats for what is, you got to remember now, it's a free card, right? So again, what I will stress is with all these free cards, go and complete as many as you can. Gauntlet up and coming, like I've just said, these will be really, really important, and it'll be the difference between you having 3 decent squads for your first rounds of Gauntlet in the first weeks, and you know, the difference between having to go out and buy different starter cards instead. So I would recommend go and get all these completed when the glitch is fixed. And I think the other SBC objective player we got, was this Nagbe, and he again is really easy to complete. This is the one where it's just simple playing games, scoring with I think MLS players, winning 8 matches on squad battles or rush. So it's really simple. And again, this is not going to go into many people's starter teams. So I think a lot of people will overlook it. But like I've just said, he's got decent dribbling stats, decent physical, nice passing, nice pace. Go and complete this card. Again, even if it is just for that gauntlet, go and get it done. It is definitely worth it. But I think some of these cards, people weren't really expecting the power curve to be dropped back like it has. So I think not only is the Zubamendi SBC shocked people, I think people were just expecting more juice on the first promo week. You have to remember, we normally get Road to the Knockouts on the first week, which is one of people's favorite promos of the entire year. We get live cards, and the cards in Road to the Knockouts are usually some of like the fan favorites. We normally get De Jong, Rashford, just cards like that where it's really meta players anyway that people want to put in their team. And I think with Cornerstones, EA have really just dialed it back a little bit. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it just shocked people a little bit who maybe weren't expecting it. I think it even goes to show for some of the market cards, like the cards in the market, we'll jump into a little bit later. The prices on some of them cards, I think is really, really telling for the next and up-and-coming weeks, and for the meta especially. So we'll jump into them. But just before that, we did get 2 new evolutions. We got Complete Connection, which is the paid one, and we got Relentless Pressure. I really, really like Relentless Pressure. It's simply play 2 matches in squad battles, rush, rivals, champs, whatever, and you just get to put Relentless on any card, essentially. So, for example, I'm running this 8 Nuri in my team because I really like him at left back because he has 5-star skills and tricks there. I can just shove him into this and give him Relentless for pretty much free. I think that's really, really nice and definitely worth completing. I think no one complains evolutions like that. I also think the paid one that came out yesterday was really nice. Some of the starter evolutions, have not been great at the start, but this paid one in a card like Rabiot, who we packed yesterday from rewards, brings him up to a really, really nice starter card. And he's the card I'm thinking of using. Look at him at attacking stats as well, by the way. 91 attacking position, 86 shot power. This is just a really nice Evo across the board. And I think it's the first really decent paid Evo we've seen across the whole game. I know people did like cover athlete for a few of the players, but I think 30,000 coins for what we got from this was a little bit expensive, where complete connection feels more well-rounded. I think it's more well-priced as well. So go and complete that if you've got a decent player in your club. Like I say, Rabiot's a really good one. I think Jolinton's a really good one. There's a few others. And I think that evolution was a big positive point out of yesterday. But like I say, jumping onto the market, I think this is where it gets really, really interesting. And the main points I want to talk through the prices of the actual players themselves. We did get Zubamendi, or like I said, it's coming in at 100,000 coins, and he is downvoted. You can see here, 1,800 downvotes. And I get it. People don't have a lot of coins at the start of this game. I think what EA need to get the balance right between is if they're going to nerf rewards, they do need to get the prices of these SBCs correct, because people just have less fodder as well as less coins. So I think that's really important. But like I've just said, I don't think this card will be too bad looking back if EA do keep up the same price scheme of the SBCs. If then the next SBC that comes out, they bring it right down because they realize no one has rewards, then this card obviously will look overpriced. But it's the market cards that I'm more interested in. Starting off with this Tidgy Reinders, who's been really popular at the start of the game, just his gold card. And now he's got a Cornerstones card. And the main thing that has shocked me here is the prices of some of these cards, I think, is just mental. And I'll explain why I think that is in just a bit. But this Reinders card is coming in just shy of 1 million coins on the first weekend. And I think 1 million coins is, of course, really, really, really expensive. But not only that, you've got to remember as well, hardly anyone on this game has coins, which means for him to be sitting at that price, it means that there really is not that much supply of this card on the market because there's so little buying power at this price point. It means that supply has been dialed back completely from what we've seen in previous years on the promos. Of course, this is a really nice card. He's got Tiki Taka Plus. He's got 80s and near all stats with 87 dribbling and 83 passing. But simply put, this is not an a million coin card, whatever you say, right? He only has 4 base play styles as well. It's not an a million coin card. A really nice card, and a lot of the pros are using him. I'm not saying it's a bad card. It's just not worth that price point. Then going into Valverde, they've had to up his price range from 2 million to 4 million, as he was nearly extinct at 2 million coins yesterday. And of course, this Valverde card, they've changed the playstyle to long ball plus, and he is looking insane. But I still don't think he would be sitting at 2 million coins on previous years. I think the supply on these top-end cards is really, really minimal. And it goes for Cole Palmer as well, who was sat at 600,000 coins when the promo first came out yesterday, and then shot up to 900,000 coins, which is about where he's sitting now. And once again, it is a really nice card. I think this one's slightly more fairly priced. And what I don't like about how they've done the promos is the disparity between the top-end cards and then the bottom-end cards, which I'll jump into in just a second. My 2 favorite cards, I think, from this promo, and it's what I think when EA said they're slowing the power curve down and what we want the meta to feel like on the game, is the Di Lorenzo card and the Ryan Yates card. The Di Lorenzo card, I think it's perfect for what people want in a promo. He is a really good starter right back. He's not too overpowered. He's not busting the power curve. He has 86 pace, 80 dribbling, 82 defending, 82 physical, with really nice shooting and passing as well. He just has a couple of base play styles. And I think cards like this is what people really, really want from early game promos. Just gives a nice boost to an already usable card, but doesn't push the power curve so far to where the meta is just ruined within weeks. And I think Ryan Yates is actually a really nice one as well, because with people having like no coins on the game at the minute and less buying power, him sitting at 55,000 coins is a really, really reasonable price. He has Enforcer base, Bruiser base, Aerial Fortress, Intercept, and Long Ball, which is a really, really nice set of 5 play styles. Bruiser's not as good this year, but the other ones are really nice. And in-game stats, he has insane physicals and defending stats with good enough pace. So I think cards like that is really good. My main problem from the promo, like I say, is coming from the top-end cards being far too expensive when compared to these bottom-end cards. And I think this is what we didn't want when EA were talking about slowing the power curve down. We have this Chara card, and we have this Sardane card, and I think there's a few others that are just sitting at discard price. And normally when a promo comes out and these cards are sitting at discard price, it's normally a good time to invest. But really, these cards are honestly just not even as good as a lot of the gold cards that people already have in their team, the near discard price. And I think this one's where it gets a little bit confusing is why EA do this, because when they release these cards, I'm not really sure who they're targeting for these cards to go into their teams. I think with evolutions, it's possible we see these cards spike later on in the game cycle, and it'd be hard to guess when that would actually be. And that's probably the only thing that'd make these cards usable. So when we're getting cards that are basically not as good as gold cards, and they're coming in at discard price, and then the top end promo cards are coming in at what seems really, really overpriced, especially this Rinders at 1 million coins. I think EA have got to be careful with how they do promos at the start. I think Cornerstones will shift the meta ever so slightly, but I think it'll be shifted with the objective players and the SBC players, less so with the market players. I think the market players is normally what shifts the meta early on in the game when we had road to the knockouts. But with how hard some of these cards are to buy, with the less buying power that everyone has, unless you've loaded up FIFA points or just packed something amazing, and with how awful some of the starter cards are with this Chara. And like I say, the only two that really interest me with this Di Lorenzo and Ryan Yates, from what I've seen in the mid-range cards, I think EA have got to be careful. And if you are wondering why it is that them top cards are sitting really, really overpriced, and why the rest of the market didn't really take a hit as it can do on promo days sometimes, it was simply because of the promo packs EA released. And I think this is where EA cooked. I think this is where they got it spot on. The promo packs EA released yesterday, we got Prime Gold Players packs that were tradable, and we got Premium Gold Players packs that were tradable. We also got some untradeable packs. Untradeable packs don't often move the market too much. They're nice for some people to open and get some stuff in the club. And even the untradeable packs were nothing big. The highest coin pack we've got in the store right now is 90,000 coins. With EA releasing 100,000 coin packs last week, I think some people were scared that with all the talk of the slower power curve, that might happen again this week, the 100,000 coin packs, or possibly even worse. But the 25,000 and the 45,000 coins packs, yes, it does mean those top end cards are really expensive. But what it also means is your gold cards are holding more value because basically they're coming down less on the market than they would have in previous years. EA last year at the first promo, I guarantee, released 100,000 coin or more promo packs, which again just pulls everyone's gold cards down. And it's what all the complaints have been coming into this year, which is why EA talked about the slower power curve. So what does this mean going forward for your team, the meta, and all things like that? I think the first thing to note is that with the lesser promo packs, if EA do keep that up, which we'll have to wait and see, it does mean that thankfully gold cards will hold more value, at least for longer on in the game cycle. The worry I do have is that if EA start making less money on these promo days, then they'll just revert back to bringing 100k packs out and more juiced packs. So we'll have to wait and see. I think the second thing that it means is that you're not going to see 10 Cornerstone teams, Cornerstone players in people's teams in like day 2, day 3 of the promo. In previous year, road to the knockouts, the cards were really hyped. People would do all the objectives and all the SBCs, get a few players off the market, maybe pack a few players from the promo packs, things like that. And you would see quite a lot of the promo players in people's teams early on. I think this time you won't see that. The players that people want in their teams are the Reinders, Valverdes, Palmers, even the Diaz, Nico Williams card, the Bruno Fernandes cards. And they've been priced at like a really, really high premium. And I think no FUT Champs, we're going to have to see how they actually come down to the market going into next week and see if their price changes at all. And I think especially I want to see how this goes with the next promo that comes out, which I assume will be road to the knockouts. Is that normally what comes out in the first week or two? And we'll have to see. My worry is that road to the knockout comes out and it's very similar to last year where it's a really hype promo. We get a lot of the meta cards again. And this Cornerstones promo is almost forgotten about. I think that'd be a really, that'd be a bad side for me, a real negative. So I really don't want that to be the case. I want a few of these cards to become more usable over the game. Evolutions might play a big part in it. We'll have to see. There's a lot of these lower end cards are rating capped. A lot of them are 83, 84. And what they might start to fit some evolutions nice and early on. But I think overall, after this weekend, if you're looking at your team and there's maybe one new player in it, but nothing more, I don't think that's a big issue. I think you'll be quite similar to everyone else, especially with how bad some of the lower end cards are. I think keeping a lot of the gold cards in your team that will have kept value now over the weekend is not a bad idea at all. So yeah, let me know down below what you think of the new Cornerstones promo. Are you happy with how EA have done it? Are you happy with the SBC price? And what do you think of the objectives, different cards? Let me know if you've packed anyone new from the promo as well, boys. Like I say, I think the main benefit is that now gold cards are going to last even longer, which is great because we actually packed one of the best gold cards on the game in our Road to Glory last episode. You can check that out down here. I'm buzzing with that pull because it now means that card will last way longer in the game cycle as well. But yeah, like always, boys, until next time, in a bizzle.